So it's 2022 and you want to enter into the world of KDP. Or perhaps you're just trying to figure out why the books you're publishing on Kindle are not selling. Well, this video will hopefully be helpful to you. I'm going to delve into the top 3 courses that you could look into and invest in this year, 2022. There's a few courses that have been around for quite a number of years now. Some of them are outdated, some of them are still pretty good. And then there's those that have actually just done it for a few months and have created a course, and their income is actually coming from the course rather than Kindle itself. So I thought it would be helpful to delve into which courses are on the market that I think would be best to invest in, that actually give you some bang for your buck. So without further ado, let us start with the first one. Okay, so the first one is from Ryan, and it's by Ryan's Methods. Ryan approaches KDP very much in the mindset of it is one method and avenue of print on demand. Print on demand is a whole world in itself where you can take creative designs and prints or artistry, and you can make that into products that are only created and produced as the customer buys it. Now, if you think about it, KDP or Kindle books is actually no different. The customer buys the book, and it's only then that the file or perhaps the book is printed. So he focuses actually just on low content books. You can see selling low content books on Amazon, and he focuses on a lower, I guess, income range, but he has the mindset that this is going to be one part of a larger picture in print on demand. So perhaps you have certain designs, you might create some notebooks or journals or something in Kindle, and then you use those same designs for other things like t-shirts or phone covers or something like that. So I think that's why he's in one of my top 3s, because if you're thinking of your own artistic skills and how KDP could be beneficial, then this is the course for you because it expands beyond KDP alone. I actually do have a code which I'll put in below, a discount code for his course, not only for this KDP course. He actually has a few other courses on print on demand, so you can see what he does in those areas as well. So you can see here he's got, I think it's 5 modules. Yeah, 5 modules. The first one, just a general introduction and your mindset idea. And then he looks into some profitable niches, which are super important, obviously. It's trying to find out how to identify those niches, because the worst thing is you can kind of go out there blindly and not make sales. And well, Amazon is massive. The competition is massive. So you need to find how you can actually get to page 1, essentially. Creating your listings. This is more, I guess, practical side of things. And then scrolling down, you have the advertising. So how do you actually get your book onto page 1? And then finally, talking about some special interiors, and he actually gives you some templates essentially for that. Now, one interesting thing he has here is this automated upload process. And you can see how long, yes, it can take a while. If you're doing quite a few low content books, which you generally are doing more if you're doing low content books. And he has a simple automated way to upload that. So that's a really cool feature of his course. Now, about your coach, you can see he's here on the right. And he is making 7 figures doing Amazon. Again, that is not just with Kindle, but that's because Kindle is a part of his bigger portfolio and his business. You can see how he has expanded also not just into Amazon, but into Etsy. And essentially, you might have to do that with some of your approach to low content, just because the profit margins will be lower, and it's more, there's a lower barrier entry, essentially. So you have to advertise a lot more. So you can see more into his curriculum there. And you can see the price here. So he does also offer a 14-day money-back guarantee. But in terms of the cost, this is definitely on the lower end. It's very easy to pay 2, 3. I've even seen $6,000 courses for KDP. So this is definitely on the lower end. But again, his mindset is low content books. And if you think about the returns or the income he's hoping to make, it's more in that $1,000 per month figure. So yeah, that's Ryan's course. Oh yeah, just one thing I thought to mention as well is a part of the course is that you do get access to Ryan himself, and you can ask him questions. And I have personally tested this quite a bit. He's super responsive, very friendly, and very genuine. So I think that is super important if you're going to invest in this course. It's not just the content you get, but it's also that service, that ongoing side. And I know directly from speaking to him that he is even updating this course in 2022. And that's important. You don't want someone who's put a course out there and they're not thinking about how to keep it relevant, because things change. So you really do want to keep up with the times and have a course that will allow you to stay up to date, essentially. So that's the first one. The second one I wanted to share with you is a very, very new one. This is an Australian guy, so hence the accent. If you like my accent, you'll like his. So he's an Aussie, and this is Romney is his name, and he is actually a teacher or originally was a teacher at least, and has entered into the KDP space. So this is the lowest entry level really it gets for price. Again, much like Ryan's methods, it's focusing on the low content book. And you can see he has quite a few details of what is actually included in the course. The way that he teaches, I find quite teacher-like, but in a nice way. I think he explains things super well. There's an area where you can write comments or questions in the course itself. And he has a bit about like the sustainability of KDP. I think that is a super important concept as well. The quality versus quantity. There's a lot of people there on YouTube that if you watch their videos, they're trying to get you to churn out books, and then you lose your Kindle account essentially. What you want to do is think of it as a business and to build up a quality brand, and that will last, and KDP is not just going to shut down. So that is an important part as well. But in terms of the practicality side, he really goes into how to set up accounts that you need to set up, which plugins or tools are going to be helpful as you research in your niches and as you identify profitable niches, essentially. He has a whole area on book cover creation, interior creation. He also gives you a few templates for that, creating subtitle and titles. I thought that was a really good one because the metadata, the data about your book and what Amazon, I guess, latches onto is really important in where it's going to rank you in terms of the search pages. Keeping on the 7 keywords for KDP upload. This is all about the upload process, so I don't want to go too much into the detail. But yeah, he has a lot of tips and tricks I found when you watch the course. You can see he's doing this daily himself, and he obviously gets some income now from this course, which is only like, I think, a couple of weeks old. But primarily he's focusing on KDP. And I think if I recall correctly, he earns about $7,000 per month or up to that in KDP. So just on low content. But it's important to realize that that's not profit. That's not even just royalties from KDP. That is the sales usually. The thing about Romney's course, the Publishing Accelerator course, is that it shows you how to get there with the cheapest possible route. So he does give you some paid tools he recommends, but he also shows you which tools to start out with, and perhaps also which ones you can get free trials with. So you can just start with the lowest barrier of entry, essentially. Get the hang of it and see if it actually is for you. His price is very low at the moment. I'm not sure if that is going to go up. I believe it is $197. But yeah, definitely take a look at this page. It's still $197. So, and see if this could be working for you. It's definitely a cheap course. This is as cheap as you'll really get for the quality as well that you're getting here. So very new course to the market, and definitely recommend if you're thinking of just staying in the low content space. Finally, I want to introduce you to Sean Dolwett. He has also just brought out a very new course in the last couple of months, that is. He is the real deal and is the creme de la creme when it comes to KDP courses. Despite that, he's not the most expensive out there. We're not talking $6,000, but he is, he's got the figures and history to back up his credentials, essentially. He's been in the game for about 5 years doing publishing. He's been in the ups and downs. He's been able to evolve his approach to KDP as competition has increased in Amazon. And you see that with his sales figures and also his longevity in his business. So he's been in it for about 5 years now. I think then he sold his KDP business. Did you know you could do that? For not that much under $1 million. So a massive amount. And then he's now started up a new one, and he's entered into a new niche essentially that he's focusing on. Yeah, I think out of the 200 books or so that he has created, only 3 of them have not reached ROI yet. And he says yet because, you know, it's passive income. He's put it out there and it will still be generating income. So I'll go back to the top so you can see a little bit what is in this course. So it's called Freedom Self-Publishing, but yes, so I think there are 8 phases, that's right. 8 phases of his course. The first one is on mindset, and this is almost alone worth the course. If any business that you're going into, I think this mindset is super helpful. The reason is he treats it like a business. He's saying he's not a fast and hard salesman. One thing you'll notice about him immediately when you watch his videos and his course is, and see him interact online as well, he is super genuine. He's not a hyped up person, energetic salesman. He is down to earth, very humble. That's the most common word used to describe him, along with transparent. So he talks about mindset, and I often come back to this mindset because it's something you need to remind yourself of over and over, not only actually for business, but it helps with life in general. So that's a huge one there. Choosing your niche, a key practical way to doing that, and a really easy way to do it so you can, I guess, be foolproof as you enter into your niches. Creating your best-selling book. So here, hiring ghostwriters, and he even tells you which companies and which people he uses. So he's, again, very transparent there. Growing your fan base. So this was a really unique way. I think one of the biggest benefits that Sean thinks about is that KDP is a business. And so like with businesses, you're thinking about your lifetime customer value. That's a key word he talks about. It's not just, can I sell them this book? It's, can I sell them this book and 4 of my other books? And so it's trying to get the most value you can to that customer and for them to pay for it. Launching your bestseller, so he has a good strategy around that. And he does focus on more non-fiction books, I should mention. So the other 2 were low content. Now, Sean's approach is non-fiction is where the money is. And you'll see that later on when we look at his figures. He does produce some low content books, but that's more as a downtime thing. So as he's waiting for his other books to be written, he is producing some low content books, but primarily he is focusing on the non-fiction side. There are still some people in this course that are doing fiction. So if you're interested in fiction writing, very helpful still. Oh, and I will say he also focuses on, because it's nonfiction and not low content, you're not just doing paperbacks. Low content, you really just do paperbacks. But you're doing paperbacks, you're doing Kindle, and you're doing Audible. And those are essentially 3 streams of income, at least 2 if you think about the Audible side. So yeah, there's a lot more opportunity for income. Mastering ads, and he actually gets in someone else to do a large part of this. He himself outsources the ads, so you really get into the mind of an expert advertiser who knows the ins and outs of Amazon. Yeah, again, the audiobooks that I talked about there. And then growing your publishing empire. So, and he talks about taking a publishing business to 30K plus a month, which is massive. Again, we are talking sales, so we're not talking income. I mean, we're not talking profit purely. Some other things that he has as part of this course is the Facebook group. And this is a super helpful, excellent place where it's members only, obviously, and you can just ask silly questions, and there's a lot of people that are willing to help. Sean himself is very quick in responding to this group as well, and very kind to the silly questions. He doesn't, put you down for asking those things. He also does a monthly Q&A coaching call, and if you do join, in 2022, there's probably a few previous Q&A calls that you might have missed, and I strongly recommend going back to watch them. It's worth more than that amount because it's up-to-date questions. It's questions that you are having right now or others are having that perhaps you didn't even think should be a question, but they're asking someone like Sean, who's an expert, and he is such a transparent answer, person who answers it. So I can't recommend those enough, and even going back as you join to listen to the historical ones. He also actually creates emails and templates for you to send directly to the people you want to hire. So that's helpful. Just, again, making it easy for you to succeed. Time is money. There is so much value in this course to just get you kickstarted and going. This is the Audible account for international publishers. That's a really important point. Did you know that if you're not, I think it's in the US, in Canada, in Ireland, maybe the UK, one of the other ones, that you can't actually create an Audible account. So he talks about how to do that if you are an international publisher. So you're from, let's say, Asia or even Europe, Australia, South Africa, wherever it might be. So this is massive. A guy comes in actually to do this, and how to legally set up things and get the ball rolling for Audible. It's a huge income stream if you're doing fiction or non-fiction, obviously not low content. The ads deep dive by an expert, we talked about that. A launching blueprint, which is really helpful. And then just a bonus of how to write books yourself. If you are interested in doing that, perhaps you want to do a bit of a blend, maybe outsource some, maybe write some yourself, then he has that as well. Now, his content is always growing. In fact, just the other day in the Facebook group, he asked a question, what can I do to improve my course? And it's an excellent course, so there wasn't really much substance to the answers he was getting, but he is a genuine instructor, and he really cares about this group that have actually invested into the course. And it's essentially investing into yourself. So you can see some of his results. This is from, this screenshot is just Amazon, and that's royalties, not sales, royalties. So it doesn't include advertising costs, but I think you say get, whatever the royalty percentage is that he set up. And then he actually sold his business, and he says he's earned well over $1 million, and that's true because his business the sale of his business was only not too far under that, plus all the income he's had passively with that time. So you can see here the price for the course is currently $7.97. I think that is going to be going up to, as I understand, a phased approach to, I think it's $14.97. So if you see it for anything less than $14.97, that is happening quite rapidly, then get it as soon as possible. It's well worth $14.97 though, if you do decide to wait, or if you only see it when it is that amount. In fact, it's worth much more than that. He is, as I said, very available. It's not just a course you're going to watch in, a few weeks and then be done with that. It's investing into a business, and he helps you and mentors you along that. Really cannot recommend this course enough. For me, it would be the top one to invest in 2022. But of course, if you're just wanting to do a few simple low content books, then definitely consider one of the other courses, and perhaps the print on demand one if you're wanting to expand beyond Kindle. So that's the top 3 courses for 2022 in KDP. I hope this was really helpful. If it was, please do hit the like button. It helps me know what content to make. And if there's a particular course you'd like me to delve more into, if you have questions, maybe I didn't explain some things very well, please let me know in the comments. I'll read those. And also just check out the links below, because there are discount codes in there and perhaps ways to earn some Amazon gift cards for you to spend yourself. Perhaps you'll use it to buy your first book that you've published. So do check out the links, and yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to review. Otherwise, I wish you a very successful 2022, and I hope you do invest in yourself and make the changes you want to see in yourself this year.